Hello everyone, welcome to the 8th session on acids, bases and salts. In the previous video, we have discussed so many aspects about the pH. We got to know what is pH, how to determine pH, and how to decide which is strong acid, strong base and weak base. Yes or no? Fine. And now let us discuss about the importance of pH in everyday life today. Okay. And before going to the topic, let us deal with the question on pH. And questions on pH will be applied questions that you can come across in the final examination, where you have to be very, very, very careful in answering those questions. Okay, so one of the variety I have got you today, which is there on a board. Question is there on a board, and guys, you have to copy the question and pause the video and work with the answer first. Take 2 minutes of time, pause the video, copy the question, try to answer yourself. You must have seen the previous video so that you will be clarified with the concept, right? So based on the concept you have in your mind, first work it with the answer. Say if you don't get the answer, then just cross check with your answer. Okay, and now let me discuss the answer for this question. And questions like this is the most common type that you can expect for the examination, especially on the pH. You have to be very careful in answering them. Okay, read the question carefully, try to analyze what they are asking and what is given in a question. That is very important. Okay, read the question. If there are 4 solutions A, B, C, D with pH values 8, 13, 4, 2 respectively. Okay, so this is the given information. They said you have 4 solutions. Okay, solution A, solution B, solution C and solution D. Okay, A solution's pH is how much? 8. And B solution's pH is 13, C solution's pH is 4 and D solution's pH is 2. Right? This is the given information. And what they are asking you, first question, which of them is most alkaline? So what do you mean by the word alkaline? Alkaline means basic. Okay, bases are also called as alkalis. Okay, so basic, instead of calling it as basic, they can also call it as alkaline. Okay, so they are asking you which of them is more basic, most basic. So can you able to give answer for the first question? Yes, answer for A question. So read the question properly. Which of them is most alkaline, which is nothing but most basic, right? And in the previous video we have discussed higher the pH value. If pH value is more like 13, 14, 12, then the solution is more basic. Yes or no? So if you are getting confused with the answer, just go to the previous video, revise once and come to the question. Clear? Okay. And now among the 4 solutions, check which is having the highest pH value. Option B. Yes or no? B solution is having a value 13. Right? So answer for A question is solution B. Solution B with pH value 13 is more basic. Okay, and they can ask you which is more acidic also. If they have asked you which is more acidic, what is your answer? Solution D. Yes or no? Lesser the pH value, more will be the acidic nature. Higher the pH value, more will be the basic nature. This is the logic you have to remember. More the pH value, highest pH value means solution is more basic. Lowest pH value means solution is more acidic. Okay, so among the 4 solution, more basic solution is B and more acidic solution is D. Okay, and what about solution A? solution A is also basic only. Yes or no? Because you see the pH value, it is above 7. But it is weakly basic. Yes? Solution B is strongly basic and solution A is weakly basic. And what about solution C? See the pH value 4, that is below 7. The value is below 7. That means it is acidic, but it is weakly acidic. And solution D is strongly acidic. Smaller the number, more acidic it will be. Okay, higher the number, more basic it will be. Clear? So this is what the concept. I have asked you which solution is more basic. So your answer is solution B with the pH value 13. Question can be asked anyway. They will ask you which among them is weakly acidic, which among them is weakly basic, which among them is strongly acidic, which among them is weakly acidic. Any question they can ask you. Just one model I am showing you. Okay, question can be of anything. Fine. And coming to the second question, let us discuss answer for B question. And this type of a question is very common in the examination, where most of the students will fail to give a correct answer. Okay, you should clearly read the question and see what they are asking. Fine. Read the question. Arrange them in the decreasing order of their H plus ion concentration. H plus ion concentration means about what they are asking? About acidic character they are asking. Okay, about acidic character they are asking. That means you have to arrange all these solutions from higher strongly acidic to weakly acidic, more acidic to less acidic. You should arrange them. Decreasing order of H plus ion concentration means strong acid to weak category. You should arrange them. Okay, so among them, tell me which is the strongly acidic solution? D, right? So solution D is having higher pH value, means higher H plus ion concentration. After that, higher H plus ion concentration will be solution C. Okay, and after that what will come? Solution A. And after that what will come? Solution B. Right? So this is your answer. Solution D's pH is how much? 2. Greater than 4. Right? And later 8. And later 13. Okay? So this decreasing order means this symbol. Right? So this symbol you have to show. Or if you have just shown like this, then also you will get a mark. D, C, A, B. Okay, without the symbol, if you have arranged and put the alphabets, then also you will get the mark. Clear, everybody? So decreasing order of H plus ion concentration means highly acidic to less acidic wise you should arrange them. Okay, and you can ask me a question, ma'am, like see solution A and solution B, they are actually basic, yes or no? They are not acidic. So why we have included them? We have to include. Say they have told to arrange all the 4 solutions from highly acidic to weakly acidic or no acidic. No acidic in the sense basic. Okay. So since they are basic, if you don't include them in your arrangement, you will be losing your mark. Okay, so whichever solutions they give you, just see the question what they are asking. H plus ion concentration, decreasing order they asked. H plus ion means what? Acidic nature. So highly acidic to less acidic or basic wise you should arrange them. Okay, decreasing order in the sense decreasing order, increasing order in the sense increasing order. Okay, and if you are getting confused to put the symbol, leave the symbol, just arrange this way. Okay, so this is the answer for B question. And these are the 2 models which can definitely ask in the examinations. And one question for you again on a pH, for which you should post your answer in the comment box. Okay, the question is, second question. Okay, if there are 4 solutions, if there are 4 solutions, say here only, I'll just change the question. If there are 4 solutions A, B, C, D with the pH value 8, 13, 4 and 2 respectively, which of them is most acidic? Okay, most acidic. And second one, arrange them in the decreasing order of their OH minus ion concentration. OH minus ion concentration. So OH minus ion concentration in the sense what? Base, about the basic nature. Okay, more basic to weakly basic or no basic character wise, you should arrange them. So this is the question for homework. Copy the question, carefully read it, okay, and post the answer in the comment box. We will be waiting. Clear? Fine. Now let us try to discuss what do you mean by importance of pH in everyday life. pH is a very important thing that you have to take care of. Say for example, you buy a shampoo bottle, any branded shampoo bottle or face wash or soap, whatever it is. Say if it is a well branded item, there they will mention the pH value. Right? They will mention the pH value. pH is 5.6, pH is 6.8 or pH is 8.7, right? That means, say the pH is also very important for certain things to act. Got to know? Especially the human body. Most of the chemical reactions that are taking place inside the human body is pH related. If the pH of the blood or fluid is perfect, then only some chemical mechanism can occur inside. Otherwise, we will get disturbed. Say if pH of a stomach, this much value has to be there. It should be fixed. If that pH value crosses, it becomes less or more, then it leads to some disease. Got to know? So our human body also works at certain pH. If the pH becomes more or less, definitely it will lead to some disease. Got to know? So that much importance is there for pH. Now let us discuss importance of pH in a human body. Okay? First one, importance of pH in human body. Okay? There are so many liquids in a human body. The major liquid you find in human body is blood. Yes or no? So the blood is the major liquid you will find. Along with the blood, one more major liquid is lymph. Okay, lymph. Blood is red colored liquid and lymph is colorless liquid. Okay, so these are the two liquids you will find in almost every part of human body. Okay, and these liquids pH should be there in between 7.0 to 7.8. Okay, so the pH of a blood or pH of a lymph must be there in between 7.0 to 7.8. Okay, only when this pH range is maintained inside a human system, every chemical reaction occurs naturally and smoothly. If the pH value is increased or decreased, say if it crosses above 7.8 or if it becomes lesser than 7.0, disturbances occurs in a human body where it will lead to certain diseases. Got to know? So pH of a liquid inside a human system should be maintained in this range. Remember this. So if this range is disturbed, definitely the entire chemical reactions whichever is occurring every single second inside a human system will get disturbed. Right? Every single second, one or the chemical reaction keeps occurring. Say for example, I am talking like this means inside some mechanism, some chemical thing is happening inside, some hormones, or my brain is telling to various nerves and it is activating my cells within me to talk. Right? It is provocating my cells to talk, to act. I am using my hands to do in a various things. various directions I'm moving my hand. For that I need energy, and to get energy inside, some chemical process has to happen. So like this, every single second one or the other chemical changes do happen inside our body. For all these changes, this pH range has to be maintained. Otherwise you will definitely find some disturbance inside a body, and that disturbance only we will call it as disease. Okay, fine. And the second one, importance of pH in agriculture. Okay, say this is very important, where most of them doesn't know. For example, if we have to grow coffee plantation in our area, is it possible? Never, right? People will never grow coffee. We will grow paddy more in our area, but not coffee. Why we cannot grow coffee in our area? What may be the reason? First reason is climatic problem. Yes, say the climate has to be full cool for the growth of coffee plantation. And the second main reason is pH of a soil. pH of a soil in our region is not suitable for the cultivation of coffee. See, which crop to be grown in which soil is mainly decided by the pH. Okay, in some areas pH of a soil will be basic in nature. In some areas pH of a soil will be acidic in nature. Okay, some crops are best grown in the acidic soil, and some crops are best grown in a basic soil. Okay, got to know? Say in our area the pH of a soil is quite acidic in nature. And coffee plantation cannot be grown in a acidic soil. Got to know? Say paddy plantation can be best grown in a acidic soil. Our area, our pH of a soil is quite acidic. Acidic in the sense what? Value is below 7. If you measure the pH of a soil in our area, you will get the value below 7. That means soil is quite acidic. So that acidic soil is suited to grow paddy plantation, not coffee. Got to know? Okay. Say for example, our area, in the sense, I will take this Koppal district only. We have 3 taluks, yes or no? Say for example, in our Gangavati, the soil, in some of the areas, if the soil is basic, say we are growing paddy. For the growth of paddy, we need soil to be acidic. But in some areas, the soil is basic. Then what do you do? You will add the fertilizers with basic nature. Got to know? Say, for example, you have 2 areas. You have 2 to 3 areas. Okay. Here the soil is, say this is all in 1 acre. Imagine this is all in 1 acre. I have taken 3 regions. Okay. This region I have measured the pH of a soil, it is quite acidic. This region I measured the pH of a soil, it is quite acidic. This region I measured the pH of a soil, it is quite basic. Okay, and I am growing paddy plantation here. Okay, for the growth of a paddy, which condition of a soil is best suited? Acidic condition is best suited. Okay, so this area you can nicely grow the paddy, but this area, the soil is not fit for the growth of paddy plantation. So what do you do here? What do you do in this region? You will add the fertilizers. That contain acids. You will add the fertilizers that contain acids. So when acids add to this base, the pH will become neutral. When more acid is added to this, it becomes neutral, and then soil can become little acidic. Got to know? So that way you are making the soil become acidic. Okay, so you can nicely grow the paddy plantation whichever you want. Okay, so this is how to neutralize the pH of a soil, or to improve the acidic nature, or to improve the basic nature. According to our convenience, we keep adding the fertilizers. If you want to make pH of a soil acidic, you will add. acidic fertilizers. If you want your pH of a soil to be basic, then you will be adding a fertilizers that contain bases. Okay, so this is the reason why we add fertilizers to the soil. But too much of chemical fertilizers to use also is very harmful. It may improve the pH range, but it will destroy the nutrients that are present in a soil. Okay, so it is more beneficial as well as hazardous also. How much ever you have to use, that much only you should use. Clear everybody? So try to remember, pH has lots of importance in the field of agriculture. Whenever we have to grow certain plantations, definitely we should check the pH of a soil, because certain crops will grow at certain pH range. Coffee can grow at basic pH range, paddy can grow at acidic pH range. Likewise, sugar cane also can grow at acidic pH range. Yes, so that's the reason our area soil is best suited for the growth of paddy, because the soil is acidic. Okay, so this is what the importance of pH in agriculture. Okay, and now let us discuss the third aspect, that is about acid rain. Acid rain. So what do you mean by a acid rain? Normally, the rain water's pH is neutral, just like a plain water. Morning we have checked, see in the yesterday's video, we have checked the rain water's pH. It came almost neutral. Yes or no? So normally rain water's pH also will be neutral or slightly acidic. Maybe slightly acidic in the sense the value may be 6.8 to 6.5. That's it. Not below that. Okay. But if the rainwater's pH falls below 5.6, then such a rain we will call it as acid rain. Okay, and acid rain is very, very, very dangerous for the mankind. It will spoil all the monuments which are present in a country, like say for example Taj Mahal and all. Nowadays it is becoming, its charm is getting changed, its shine is getting changed. It's all because of pollution. Okay, when there is lot of pollution in that area, when rain comes, its pH decreases. How much it decreases is lesser than 5.6. Such a rain we will call it as acid rain. So acid is corrosive. If it falls on any substance, the substance loses its shine and charm. That way even our Taj Mahal also losing its shine and charm is because of acid rain. Why acid rain? Because of more pollution. What actually happening is, your rain is nothing but H2O. Okay, this H2O may combine with sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere. Sulfur dioxide is pollutant. Okay, many of the factories can release a gas called sulfur dioxide. Chemical factories, fertilizer factories, pesticide factories, even pharma industries, whichever chemically related factories it may be, it will definitely release a pollutant called sulfur dioxide. Okay, when rain water combines with sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere, that rain will be converted into H2SO4. Okay, initially it converts H2SO3 and H2O, one more pollutant is there, SO3. Okay, H2O, when it reacts with SO3, H2SO4 you will get. Both are acids only. This is sulfurous acid and this is sulfuric acid. These two are pollutant that can come from factories. Okay, say and the rain has a acid content. Which acid? Sulfuric acid. So automatically the pH will be less, 5.6 and below 5.6. It may go to 4, 3 also if the concentration of these guys is more in a rain. Got to know? Such a rain we will call it as acid rain. Okay, and the acid rain is very, very dangerous. Say in a particular area, if you observe acid rain, then it indicates that that area is highly polluted with which gases? Sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. Okay, remember the reactions. So when these pollutants combine with rainwater, you get two dangerous acids, and the rain containing such acids where the pH is 5.6 and below 5.6, highly dangerous rain, we call it as acid rain. Okay, and coming to the fourth point, pH in stomach. pH in stomach. Okay. Say for example, the digestion, the moment you eat food, it will go to stomach. So in a stomach, digestion is a chemical process that is taking place. So after the digestion of a food, I told you it's a chemical reaction. Main product is energy. Okay. After the digestion reaction, main product that you are getting in your body is energy. Okay. And the byproduct is HCl. Okay. So HCl is the byproduct obtained out of digestion. Obtained out of digestion. Okay. So naturally HCl will be there in a stomach. Okay, because in the stomach itself digestion is taking place, so naturally HCl liquid would be created. So the stomach's pH is acidic in nature. pH in a stomach is naturally acidic. Naturally acidic. That means value will be below 7. Like below 7 in the sense you will be having a value 6.5 or 6.6 like that. Okay, so this is a normal process that do happen in our body. You take food goes to stomach, there digestion reaction occurs. After the digestion reaction, HCl is the byproduct released in the stomach. That is the reason pH value in the stomach is always acidic in nature. That is below 7, maybe 6.5 or 6.6 value. But whenever you take a spicy food, okay, hot spicy food, more and more HCl will be created in a stomach. Okay, when more and more HCl created in a stomach, more H plus ion concentration, no? More H plus ion concentration means what? pH value decreases. pH value may go up to how much? 2 or 3. Yes, this much range. Naturally, pH value is around 6.5 in the stomach. But whenever you take a spicy food, because more and more HCl is created, so pH value decreases much more. pH value may decrease to 2 or 3. pH value less means what? More acidic. Yes or no? So that point of time, when pH value of a stomach is decreased more and more than usual value, you will observe the burning sensation inside the stomach. Okay, that particular burning sensation or pain in a stomach, we will call it as acidity. You must have heard a common word called acidity. Yes or no? So now in a home, at least one person will suffer with acidity. You can ask your parents or grandparents, at least once in a week or twice in a week, they keep telling, oh, acid is created in a stomach, so they keep taking some tablets to get relief from it. Yes or no? So what do you mean by acidity? When does this acidity problem is created in a human being? If the pH of a stomach is decreased more and more. How does the pH of a stomach is decreased more and more? Because the amount of HCl is increased. When does the amount of HCl is increased? When you have taken a spicy foods. Got to know? So that point of time, you can feel a kind of pain and irritation in a stomach, which we call it as acidity. Okay, so that is the reason we should always maintain the pH range of the stomach. If you have to maintain the pH range of a stomach, definitely you should not take spicy foods. You should see that less and less HCl generates in the stomach. When less HCl is created, pH value will maintain, in this range, so that we feel safe and we feel comfortable. Okay. Now, when a person is suffering from acidity, can you tell me what were the medicine they will take? Why you suffer from acidity? Because more and more HCl is created. So what kind of chemical can be taken as a medicine here? What kind of chemicals can be taken as a medicine here? Some bases, isn't it? So when you take some bases, from your mouth, it will go to stomach. In the stomach you have HCl, so base can neutralize HCl. Yes or no? So the medicine that you are taking to treat acidity is called as antacids. Antacids. So what do you mean by antacids? Antacids are the medicine that are taken to treat which disease, which problem? Acidity. Okay. So usually what are antacids? Antacids are bases. So why you are taking bases? Because in a stomach you have more HCl. To neutralize HCl, you should take some bases only. So which is the best antacid that is available in the market? Milk of magnesia. Milk of magnesia. That Gelusil, you get that pink color syrup, right? So you must have observed at home, the grandparents and all will be taking that pink color syrup when they are suffering with the acidity. We call it as Gelusil. That Gelusil is nothing but chemically it is called milk of magnesia, which is nothing but magnesium hydroxide. You can read the ingredients behind. Okay, so whenever you see that syrup now, just see the ingredient. It will be written magnesium hydroxide. Okay, magnesium hydroxide is also called as milk of magnesia. It will act as an antacid. What do you mean by antacid? Antacid is the medicine that is used to treat acidity. How do you get acidity? When the HCl, amount of HCl is more and more in a stomach. When does the amount of HCl increases in a stomach? When you take spicy foods. Okay. So this is about pH in a stomach. Next point that we are discussing under this is tooth decay. So tooth spoilage, tooth decay. Nowadays many of them will suffer from this tooth decay. So how does this tooth decay causes? Remember, tooth decay is caused when pH of a mouth falls below 5.5. Okay, below 5.5. So usually pH of a mouth is above 6, slightly acidic only, above 6 to 7 range. But if the pH becomes below 5.5, then slowly tooth decay occurs. Okay, spoiling of tooth occurs. So why does the pH of a mouth falls below 5.5? It is because of bacteria segregates inside the mouth. Okay, bacteria tries to release some amount of acid in the mouth. That is the reason pH of the saliva will become 5.5. So why does the bacteria created inside the mouth? It is because of the food stuff that is stuck in between the mouth. So the moment you eat food, what will happen? Some food particles will stuck in between the tooth, where if you don't clean it properly, the food will stay between the teeth days together. So when it is staying days together, the bacteria will be segregated. Okay, so this bacteria will start to live on the food that is there within the tooth. Okay, and during that time, due to some chemical reactions happening inside the bacteria, some byproducts will be liberated outside, and one of the byproduct is HCl. Say for example, during our digestion process, HCl was the byproduct, so it will stay in a stomach. That is why pH of a stomach will be 6.5, I told. Same way, even bacteria also releases HCl as a byproduct. Okay. So that HCl will be liberated into saliva. So the pH of a mouth can become below 5.5. When the situation is this, then definitely you will observe tooth decay. So how do you prevent tooth decay? Tooth decay can be prevented by continuous cleaning of mouth with basic substances. Okay, so why is the pH decreasing? Because acid content is increasing, no? So if you can neutralize with a base, then pH will become neutral, right? So always the toothpaste contains basic items. Okay, toothpaste contains bases. So using a toothpaste, you should nicely clean the mouth so that bacteria is eliminated. Old food stuck in between the tooth would be eliminated so that the pH may become neutral. That way you can avoid tooth decay. Okay, remember this. And what does the tooth contain normally? Our tooth is white in color. So why is the reason the tooth is white in color? It is mainly because of tooth enamel. Tooth enamel. Okay. Tooth enamel consists of calcium phosphate. Calcium phosphate is the formula of calcium phosphate, correct? Calcium valency 2, phosphate valency 3. So what is the formula of calcium phosphate? 3 you will write here, 2 you will write here. So this is calcium phosphate. This is the chemical substance which is made up of, our tooth is made up of with. Okay, so when the acid content is more, when the pH of a mouth falls below 5.5, this enamel slowly, it will go off. Okay, it will get dissolved within the acid that is produced in a mouth. So when this enamel is like a protective layer, once this protective layer goes off from the tooth, then slowly the tooth decay occurs. Okay, so remember the tooth enamel contains a chemical called calcium phosphate. So when the pH is decreased, because of acid. So that acid will be dissolving this calcium phosphate. Once this enamel goes out, then definitely you will observe tooth decay. It will become more intense when this goes off. Okay, fine. And next, honeybee sting. Honeybee sting. Okay. Whenever you get a bite with honeybee, you feel lot of pain and irritation. And that point of time, our mothers would be telling to apply, sodium bicarbonate, which is nothing but baking powder, right? Baking soda. Morning I gave you the formula when we were finding out the pH. NaHCO3. This is baking powder. It will be there in every home. Yes or no? Where do you use this? It will be used in cooking during idlis and bhajis. If you want a fluffy idli, fluffy cake and all, you have to put little amount of baking powder so that it becomes fluffy and soft. Right? So every kitchen you will have this baking powder. So whenever this honeybee bites, honeybee sting, that honeybee sting contains an acid called methanoic acid. Honeybee sting contains methanoic acid. So it liberates that methanoic acid inside the skin. That is the reason you feel more pain and irritation. Then that point of time, this is base. When you rub that area with a base, it becomes neutralized. That methanoic acid, whatever is there in your skin, becomes neutralized by adding this, by rubbing with this. That's how, to some extent, pain can be relieved. Got to know? So that is about honeybee sting. Honeybee sting contains what acid? Methanoic acid. So whenever it bites, that methanoic acid is liberated into the skin. That's why you will observe pain and irritation. So that can be avoided by rubbing with sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate is a base. So this guy can get neutralized with methanoic acid. Okay. And even nettle, hair of nettle leaves. Hair of nettle leaves also contains methanoic acid. Okay, there are some nettle leaves. If you want to see its picture, it is there in a textbook. You can go to the second chapter and see. Go to importance of pH in everyday life heading, and there you can see one picture of a leaf. Okay, the leaf will have small hair. The hair contains methanoic acid. Say when the hair touches your skin, then also you feel pain and irritation because that methanoic acid would be going into your skin. Then also, if you want to get a relief from the pain and irritation, you can rub with sodium bicarbonate, which is a base, so that it gets neutralized. Okay. So these are the points that you have to remember under importance of pH in everyday life. Okay. Thank you so much. With this, half a chapter is completed. Read the textbook line to line, revise it carefully, and try to answer for whichever question I have asked you. Clear, everybody? So if you like the video, please like it, share it, and subscribe our channel. Thank you.